Welcome to ArcVis with Blender and Stable Diffusion. In this lesson, we are going to install ComfyUI in Windows. So let's get started. So on your browser, look for ComfyUI, GitHub. And from the first link, I'm going to right-click and open it in a new tab. And here's all the information about the project. ComfyUI also has a one-click installer. So if you scroll down to the section where it says installing on Windows, you will see this link, direct link to download. So click on it and it will download a file called new comfy windows and it's 1.4 gigabytes in size. Okay, so it's this one. New ComfyUI, Windows Portable, NVIDIA, CUDA 12.1, or CPU. Now we're going to unzip it into our AI folder where we installed Forge and where Krita installed AI Diffusion. And before uncompressing it, I'm going to open it to see this one does have a subfolder created. So now I'm going to right click and select and drag and drop it here. And from the options that show up from 7-zip, I'm going to select extract here. And it will take a while to extract everything. So now the folder has been unzipped. Let's check what's inside of it. And ComfyUI created its project as well as its own Python environment. And here we can see there are two bat files, one to run ComfyUI with your CPU. And if you have an NVIDIA card, we will use run NVIDIA GPU. So that's the option we're going to be using. But before that, let's copy in ComfyUI. Let's go to Models. And here we have a similar structure to the one we have in WebUI Forge. But here the checkpoints go into a subfolder called checkpoints. And the VAEs go into VAE. So let's take advantage of the two files we have in WebUI Forge. Go to WebUI, Models, Stable Diffusion. And let's copy Realistic Vision to checkpoint. From VAE, let's copy our VAE Safe Tensor from WebUI Forge to ComfyUI Models, VAE. The next thing we're going to do is we need to install the ComfyUI Manager, which allows us to install stuff from within ComfyUI itself. So from our results, you'll see a second result that says ComfyUI Manager. If not, well, simply look for ComfyUI Manager. Right-click and open in a new tab. And here you'll see the instructions to install it. So scroll down until you see installation here. And the instruction says, go to ComfyUI custom nodes folder or directory, and we're going to clone this repository. The instruction is completely written here. So let's go to our folder in ComfyUI, then go to custom nodes. And right now we got nothing here. If you are in Windows 10 or 11, you might have the option enabled to do a shift and control click, and you'll see the option open command window here. If not, you can simply place your cursor here at the end of the directory address and type cmd, and it will open up a command prompt for us in that folder. Now we can simply paste the line we copied, and then you're going to hit enter. Now you see a new folder has been created, which is the manager. And now we can go back and we can start running ComfyUI. So let's run NVIDIA GPU. Since it's the first time we launch ComfyUI, it will also install and compile anything that it requires. Okay, so now the interface opens up in our browser. As you can see, it's completely different from WebUI Forge. And it can be a little bit intimidating at first, but it's not. It's quite simple. This is the node setup it creates by default. And what's interesting is that it's like a circuit board, and it works from left to right. So it begins loading our checkpoint and it ends up creating and saving an image. Let's analyze the nodes we got here. So the first one is load checkpoint. If you click on the dropdown and you have many checkpoint models, you can select it. If we click, we can select realistic vision. In the upper part, we have the positive prompt, and we have a prompt by default. In the lower part, we have the negative prompt. And here we have the image size and the amount of files we want it to create. Let's leave it at 1. Then we have the K-sampler. In the K-sampler, we have all the standard information for image generation that we'll also be checking in WebUI Forge. The same information that is set up in WebUI Forge's interface will be available here. For now, let's leave everything by default as well. Here is the VAE decode information. Right now, it's reading the VAE info directly from the checkpoints. Since the checkpoints are trained, they also got color and rendering information for the VAEs. So it's getting it directly from the checkpoint. But you can also add it as an additional file like the one we downloaded. And finally, the file name prefix for the image that it's going to render. To render the image, you simply click on Q prompt and the process will start, as I said, from left to right. And it's pretty cool because you can see in which node it's working right now because it will show a green outline around it. So let's do our first render in ComfyUI. Okay, so this is our first render from the prompt we got here. You can right click and click on Open Image to see it, or you can go to your folder, ComfyUI, Output, and here you will have your rendered images. So now let's do our exercise, a cat in a hat, in the positive prompt, and click on Q prompt again. As you can see, it's very, very fast. This minimalistic approach and also not having so much information from an interface here makes it a lot faster, and it makes image creation even more optimized because you are only using what you need to generate that image. Now on the right side, you'll see a button that says Manager. This is the one we installed into the custom nodes folder. And when you click on it, you'll see different options appear. So here is where you can add additional nodes, and also you can install models and checkpoints. Let's click on Custom Nodes Manager. And here in the search bar, we're going to type in Control Net. From the results, we will look for ComfyUI Advanced Control Net. Check here, and underneath, you will click on Install. Once it's installed, you will see a message that says restart required, but we're not going to do it yet. We're going to install some other custom nodes we require. Now, the next custom node we're going to use is Fizz nodes. So look for Fizz with double Z, and you'll see here Fizz by Fizzledorf. So select it and click on Install. Okay, so we're done with custom nodes. Now close it, don't restart it yet. And now we're going to install some models that we require. Basically, the control net models. Here in this manager, you'll see the ones we already have installed by default. But now in the search bar, we're going to look for control net and click on search. In the results, we'll see a lot of models available, but we're interested in the ones that say SD 1.5. So we are basically going to be installing these 5: Death, Canny, Lineart, MLSD, and Segmenter or segmentation. Let's begin with Death. So in SD 1.5, look for Death. This one on the right side, click on Install. It will take a while because these models are a little bit larger. Down here in your command prompt, you can see the progress of the installation. So this is like a 722 megabytes file. Now if you go back to your interface and scroll down, you'll see that Death has been installed. Let's continue with Canny over here. Click on Install. And as I mentioned, you can check on the command prompt to see the installation progress. Now let's continue with Lineart. Scroll down. Now you can see these two are installed. And Lineart, click on Install. You can also notice that here it shows where the checkpoint will be installed, which is in our ComfyUI installation, ComfyUI models, ControlNet folder. I am mentioning this address because we'll be using this ControlNet also in WebUI Forge later on. Scroll down again, and now we have 3. Now look for MLSD, and it's here. Install. And now we're going to install the last one we require, which is seg, or as I said, segmenter or segmentation model. Here it is. Click on install. Here, how fast they install depends on what kind of internet connection you got. So now we got our 5 models installed. For our course, these 5 cover our architectural rendering needs. So now let's click on close, and now we can click on restart. Close. Now close this instance that it's running because you can't have 2 instances running at the same time. Now it's installing the new stuff. Here we got our interface launched again. And from now on, the workflow on Windows or in Linux, it's going to be the same. The only thing that changes is that in Windows, you launch from a bat file, and in Linux, you have to launch them from the terminal. The last thing we're going to do here is let's go to AI, ComfyUI, Portable, ComfyUI, Models, ControlNet. Here we have the 5 models we just downloaded. So select all of these, copy them, and let's place them into WebUI Forge's Models, ControlNet folder. I had already pasted them here. Let's copy and paste them here as well. Now we are done. So I hope you're enjoying the course so far and learning a lot of stuff. Although we are doing it in a simple way, I like to also have a practical approach, and then each and every one of us can dive deeper into more information. In the next lesson, we are going to use WebUI Forge to render architectural images and understanding the different ControlNet models we just downloaded. So get ready and see you in the next course. Bye.